Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. Welcome to Cape Town. I'm not gonna shout because I'm in a hotel, but I'm gonna start off saying the truth. This team is shit. I look, I am I've been going live and I've been speaking about this team to you guys for the past 3 seasons, and I've supported this team since the first day of my life. I have reached the stage where I'm getting so tired of this. I have reached the stage where I am so tired of this monotony. This team doesn't improve. You can do whatever you want to this team, and this team will not improve. And nobody could change my opinion on this. You could bring the best manager to this team. You could bring the best players to this team. You can bring the worst players on this team. Nothing will ever change. I am convinced. I am convinced that is the fate of this team, because this season we're not going to get top six. I've kind of already agreed on this to myself. We're not going to get top six this season. I've said it last time, and I'm going to say it again. This team is weaker this season, and if you don't note it, unfortunately, there's something that you don't spot. This team this season, I think, has been constructed even worse than last year, if you ask me. And I'm going to get into the details of this in a second. As always, lads, we're a community. All I can say is, hit the like. If you haven't already, I'm in South Africa. I'll be back in Rome in a few days, and then we'll be back live on a daily basis. So yeah, sorry for this little break, but I watched the game tonight, and it was utter gobshite. It was utter disgusting at home against Empoli, a team which we gifted safety to last season, a team which we beat 7-0 last season, a team which has costed us the season after game week 2. End the season. End the season. It's as simple as that. Because every single season, at the end of every single season, we go, oh, you know what? This season is going to be the season that Roma uphills, and this is going to be the season that Roma shuts everybody up. No, it's been 6 years that you're demanding this, and it's every single time. It's the same shit all over again. The same shit, the same identical mirror, because this is the same exact start to the season to last year, which costed us 6th position again. This is a loop. We are in a loop. How do we get out of this loop? I've given up. I tried to, give my interpretations to what this team needs. De Rossi tried. Mourinho tried. Everybody has tried. Everybody has failed. We're going to get 6th, if not worse, this season again. We're in a constant loop. Last season, draw against Salernitana, loss against Verona, loss against Milan. This season, draw against Cagliari, loss against Empoli, and it's going to be a loss next weekend in Turin against Juventus. Same exact season. Where is the improvement? Where is the improvement? Life is about improvement. Sports is about improvement. Football is about improvement. Roma is about improvement. So why on earth is it that it's 6 years now, 6 seasons, that there's been no improvement whatsoever? No fucking improvement. I am so tired of this. I cannot deal with this anymore. I want to laugh, I want to cry, I want to shout, I want to spit, I want to throw. I want to do everything right now. But it feels like we've been doing the same thing for the past 20 years. Do you guys get this impression as well? I get the impression that we've been doing, and we've been watching the same games, we've been playing in the same way, we've had the same players for the past 20 years. Does anybody get this impression as well? Right. Let's get into the game. The first thing which I'll say is, which I think I think it's embarrassing. You know, if you look at it like this, it's embarrassing. At the end of the season last year, when we were speaking to each other, we listed on a piece of paper the positions of players that we had to cover, which had to fit the Rossi system, which had to improve Roma in the coming seasons, which ultimately had to kick off a project, which I still struggle to see. You know, so we had a list of players. We listed players down. We listed positions that this team needed to prioritize. Let me read you these positions. We wanted a left winger, and in game week 2, we're still playing with Zaleski. We needed a right back, and in game week 2, we're still playing with Cilic. We needed a box-to-box midfielder, and we still are playing with Brian Cristante, despite having spent 23 million on Enzo Leffi and still choosing Cristante over him. We needed a centre-back, and we still are starting with Mancini and Ndika with no competition whatsoever, because I consider Smalling a deadwood player. We needed these players. We got nothing out of them. Nothing out of them. We needed a right back. Where is our right back? We need a left winger. Where is our left winger? These delays hurt. Now, look, I'm the first one to say this. I'm gonna, because a lot of people are gonna speak about, are gonna put De Rossi in the middle of this. So let's get this cleared away. Let's put De Rossi in the midst. De Rossi here, 50-50. 50-50 because 50%, you gotta be patient. I mean, I'm gonna say this until the season ends because this is only year 1. If you're not patient now, then you are gonna be the reason why De Rossi is gonna be sacked by November. You are gonna be the reason why we're gonna appoint another manager, and then you're gonna be the reason why the manager will never succeed. Back him. And then, back him. Oh yeah, new manager, sack him, new manager, sack him, new manager, sack him. So if you're not patient, you're going to be the problem of this football club. The problem of this football club is having changed so many managers in the last couple of seasons. Nobody can leave a DNA. Nobody can leave their ideology. Nobody can leave their footprints if they get sacked every 2 seasons. So I'm going to say it until game week 36, even if we were to get relegated. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. Whether you like him or not, whether you think he's good or not, whether you like his tactics or not, whether you think he's inexperienced or not, you have to be patient. Because if you're not patient, I'm going to say this now. If nobody is patient in this fan base right now, De Rossi's not going to eat, De Rossi's not going to put his Christmas tree up. I think we've understood, I think we've understood what our fan base is made like, If you don't back the manager, it clearly means that you want him out. If you want the manager out, then sack him. Okay, sack him. We're back where we started. So you have to be patient. So that's the number one thing I have to say with De Rossi. Other thing, the decision making that De Rossi has put in these last 2 games is abysmal. I love him and I back him, but you have to be honest. You have to say the truth. The decision making is abysmal. It's abysmal. Why on earth, again, after having done it again after game week 1, why on earth can somebody please explain to me what managers at this football club, whether it was Mourinho, whether it's De Rossi, whether it's going to be the next manager, whether it was the previous manager, what on earth these managers see inside Brian fucking Cristante? Why on earth did we spend 23 million on Enzo Leffi to be benched by Brian Cristante? Why do we have Edoardo Bove rotting on that bench because Brian Cristante starts ahead of him? I defended Cristante with my guts last season. I am now the first one to say that we have to sell that guy. Specifically speaking about this game, I don't think Cristante made, clue mistakes. It's not like he made the mistakes which cost us the game. But there is a very simple thing, if you know football, as to why Cristante starting will never work out. Cristante is a defensive midfielder. How on earth can you be a defensive midfielder if you don't run back? It's like saying 2 plus 2 equals 3. How can you have a defensive midfielder, arguably the position in that starting 11, who needs to have the most stamina and run the most? How can you have somebody who plays in that position and doesn't run back? It's like saying, it's like wanting to keep ice cubes alive, but then at the same time putting them next to a bucket of lava. They will melt. Cristante melts in that midfield. Cristante literally melts. So that's the number one thing, which I will never understand. It's going to happen again next weekend, because it's been happening for the past 6 seasons. Cristante being the player which never gets subbed off, never gets rotated, I don't get this. What do they see in him? What do managers see? And I'm not just saying about Rossi, because Mourinho always picked him. What do these players, these managers see in Brian Cristante? But look, I would understand starting Cristante if you don't have players. You know, I don't have players, I'm forced to start with Cristante. Absolutely fine. I understand you don't have players, you don't have a selection, you have to start with Cristante. But you just spent 25 million on Lefebvre, and still you're choosing Cristante ahead of him. I don't get this. Second thing, why on earth? Again, this is another thing which I will never, ever, ever understand. Why in this constellation does Zalewski get more minutes than El Shaarawy? Man, I want to cry. You see what I mean? I give up because it feels like I've been absorbing the same shit since the day I was born. You know, why we have El Shaarawy on the bench? Why do we need to start Zalewski, who is also in the middle of a transfer deal? PSV from the Netherlands wants him. They've offered 10 million. Zalewski just needs to say yes and the deal will be done. What if Zalewski got injured tonight? What were we going to do? Shoot our balls again because the player that we want to sell got injured? You know, I think the only thing that I will criticize on De Rossi's side is decision making. You know, because I think, personally, we've seen it in the last 3 months of last season. De Rossi has got an idea. De Rossi has got good tactics. Again, it's just about implementing those tactics. It's the start of the season. I can understand the team not being at the best of shapes. But the thing which I will not tolerate anymore, and the thing which I do not understand, is these stupid decisions which are costing us games week in and week out, month in and month out. And ultimately, it's the reason why we've been so bad in these past seasons. It's this is the problem. This lack of courage, because benching Cristante, it means that you don't have the balls of benching a player like Cristante. And the same discussion, I don't think Pellegrini was too bad today. He hit that crossbar again. We were so unlucky today. You can say whatever you want of the team today. They played terrible, I agree. But man, God hates us so fucking much. 3 posts. We hit 3 posts today. For the love of the Christ. Someone up there really does not like us. But, the other thing which I'll say is that, it's this lack of having balls of benching this. Oh yeah, Pellegrini. I don't think Pellegrini played terribly today. Again, he wasn't good, he wasn't bad, he hit the crossbar. But the other thing with Pellegrini here is why he'll never get dropped is because he doesn't have somebody. There isn't a player who can bench Pellegrini. There isn't a player who you say, oh, you're coming from the bench to rotate with Pellegrini, to sub Pellegrini off, because there's nobody with quality who can do that. But again, benching Pellegrini and starting Pellegrini It's all about not having the balls of benching him. Personally, look, I don't think De Rossi does not give me the impression of somebody who's scared of offending players, because that's the last thing a manager needs to do. And there's an example of it today. Paredes made a stupid ass mistake. He got subbed off. So I don't think De Rossi has got this problem of, I've got a problem, I'm scared of subbing him off. Because De Rossi, we've seen it with a player. He's somebody, if he's got a problem, he'll say it. In terms of this character of not having balls, of, not having fear of subbing players off, I think Mourinho and De Rossi are similar. I don't think De Rossi fears subbing a player off. But, the problem is that there is just no quality to get this crap out of the team. You know what I said in the last match reaction? Until you dig this shit away from this team and dig it away, it's going to be like this. But the problem is that you don't have quality to put in. We've got 1 week left in the transfer window. I would start Pisilli ahead of Cristante. Yes, I would. But you also need to, is it something rational that a manager would do? I think you got to look at it like this. It's very easy for us to say, yes, of course, start Pisilli ahead of Cristante, but it's not something that a manager does. You can see it happen, of course you do. But yeah, I think we lack players who can sub this shit away. Yeah, somebody asks to speak about Paredes. Paredes, I thought, was good until the penalty. That's the classic Paredes penalty, by the way. That's the classic Paredes mistake. That's the classic Paredes mistake of somebody who loses the ball in the midfield and is acting bitchy to get it back. And to act bitchy and get it back, you're going to be aggressive against the player who got the ball back, who got the ball from you. That is the classic Paredes penalty. It's the classic mistake that Paredes has always made. And it kind of links with his personality. He lost the ball in the midfield to kind of make it back and to stop the counter-attack. Stupid foul, aggressive foul, didn't stop, clear foul, clear penalty, 2-0 up. First goal that we conceded, what was that defense doing? My fucking God, that defense was sitting in the Mad Hatter's table at Alice in Wonderland's land. What on earth was that defense doing in the first game? Dybala, nothing special. Sule, I've got a little problem with Sule. It's early, he's young, he'll grow, he'll mature 100%. But in these first 2 game weeks, I'm not liking Sule. I'm not liking Sule for 2 reasons. No, for 1 reason. He does too much. He does too much with the ball. He does too much with the ball, and it makes him inefficient. Not Zaleski. Sule doesn't pass the ball. Sule is... when you play football with your mates, and every single group of friends has got that friend who never passes the ball and always wants to do everything by himself. That's Sule. Sule doesn't pass the ball. And it's not like it's bad that he doesn't pass the ball, but whenever he's got a good chance of putting a cross, he always does a touch. It's always like he wants to surprise us with his skills, but that's not what I want. That's not what I want from him. What I want from him is whipping crosses in, because he's got that left foot. Whipping crosses in, shooting from outside the box. That's what I want. Skills and everything are good, but, don't be Neymar when you're clearly not able to be Neymar. That's the way I see it. Don't try to surprise us when you're losing 2-0 down. When you're 2-0 down against a team which will probably get relegated this season. Sule, exactly. I fully agree with Nabil. Sule still thinks he's at Frosinone. It's normal. He's young. He'll mature. It's a massive jump from Frosinone to Roma. But, in the short term, it's going to be a problem. And then the other problem is, which is why it's an example as to why this season's Roma is constructed way badly than last season, is that we bought Dybala and Sule. Sule and Dybala both play on the same side. So when you want to start with Sule and Dybala together, you're forced to start with Sule on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. And Sule clearly can't play on that left-hand side. He doesn't like playing on the left-hand side. So he plays in the right-hand side with Dybala. And they keep on colliding with each other. So, that's something which Sule Dybala is great. Absolutely. If they link up, it's going to be great. But it's one of those two duo combinations. They play in the same position. They play in the same position that they collide way too often. And the more they collide, the less efficient they are. And then, Dovbyk, look, Dovbyk needs time. And it's not Dovbyk's fault because he's got zero service. He's got zero service. But, game week 2 is early. But I am a bit worried. Because in 2 game weeks, in 2 games, in 180 minutes, Dovbyk has been served 0 times and has touched 0 balls. And, that needs to be your starting striker. So I'm not doubting his qualities because you don't become La Liga top scorer with a team like Girona scoring 36 goals out of nowhere. You don't. The talent is there and he knows what to do. But I'm worried because the players behind him still don't understand how Dovbyk plays. And it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a very problem. Because Dovbyk is a starting striker. And Dybala, Sule, Pellegrini still don't know what the fuck Dovbyk does. And therefore Dovbyk in 180 minutes hasn't touched one single ball. Like I'd be crazy to say this. And I'm not agreeing to this. But I would not be surprised whatsoever if in this period of the next 3 games, Shomurodov is our starting striker. And I'm not just saying this because he scored a goal, but it's because I just feel like the players know Shomurodov more. I just feel like Shomurodov... I just feel like the players behind Shomurodov to serve him better know his movements compared to Dovbyk. So maybe Dovbyk needs a bit of, he needs a little bit of training sessions where he just needs to consolidate and reinforce that chemistry because it's clearly not there. He's clearly not there. Shomurodov not bad. I've been surprised. I was like, oh my god, is he really coming on? But then I was proved wrong. Good header, good goal, a few good passes, good movements. Shomurodov, man of the match. Man of the match, Baldanzi for me. Came in really well. Assist to Shomurodov. Baldanzi, in fact, also in the Cagliari game, it was pretty good. Baldanzi is no problem saying this. At time of speaking, Baldanzi should start ahead of Cristante because De Rossi has in mind of starting Baldanzi in front of the defense. Or even, at time of speaking, Baldanzi should start ahead of Pellegrini. Baldanzi is in a really good shape. Baldanzi looks really good and fluid on the ball, really confident on the ball, provided the assist. Really, man of the match is Baldanzi for me. What else can we say? Empoli, I think Empoli came in to do one thing today. Initially, it was to get a draw. Then they found a chance to score a goal with our terrible defending. And then we stabbed ourselves again with that stupid mistake. 2-0 up and 2-0 down. And when you're 2-0 down, it's impossible to win a game. We could have easily won this game. We played bad, but we were also unlucky. No team except from Roma hits 3 posts. No team in the world except for Roma hits 3 posts in a game. It's only us. It's the dark magic that has been persuading us for the last decade. No, but this isn't good enough. Look, to sum this up, to end it. One last word on Empoli, and then I'll end it. Empoli did what they had to do. Park the bus, don't leave us spaces, and they did that really well. I don't look at league tables 2 game weeks after the start of the league. But, this is exactly the same start as last season. And the reason why I put the season is over in the title of this video is because the season is over. If there anybody who thought that we were going to get top 4 before the season started. Now it's the confirmation that we're not going to get it. Don't get me wrong. A lot of teams have lost points. Milan are in the same shape as us. Atalanta lost today. Lazio lost yesterday. Fiorentina isn't grabbing any points. I agree. But there is one thing that I see in other teams that I really don't see in this team, and have not seen in this team for quite a long while, which is the ability to win big games. This team right now, if this team right now that we saw today plays against any of the top 5 teams, we would lose every single game. And that is why, if that is your team that loses against big teams, you're forced to get as many points as possible against these teams. We played against 2 relegation teams and we only got 1 point. We're not going to get top 4 this season again. And it's very early to say this. You got to be patient. You got to give time. But if a team can't beat Cagliari, and especially can't beat Empoli at home, then clearly it means that you haven't constructed a good team and that you're not ready to play in the Champions League. So we're gonna be floating. My season prediction is we're gonna be floating between 9th and 6th for all of the season. We had the chance to go top of the league today for a night. We fucked it up, and this is Roma. When results are in favour, when your opponents lose points, you also lose points and completely fuck everything up. Atalanta had lost, Lazio had lost, Fiorentina drew 2 games, Milan had lost. This was Roma's chance to get some space on their competitors. But, it's Roma. At the end of the day, just remember our name. We're Roma. And what do? We stab ourselves every fucking time. I'm pissed. But look, I'm pissed and I'm fuming. But I'm so used to this. I've reached the stage where these results don't even surprise me anymore. Of course, a defeat at home against Empoli does surprise me still. But I've lost. When I started this channel, I raged when I was doing live watch-alongs, and I kept on raging, getting so pissed at the team not getting top 4, actually getting so surprised by the fact that we were not going to get top 4. I've matured. You mature with age for sure. I turn 19 in about 2 weeks. But I've matured. This team is not good enough. This team isn't improving. This team hasn't improved, and this team will not improve if these are the games that we play every single season. I'll be there next home game. I'll be back at the stadium for my first time. But yeah, I'm disappointed because I always expect more, but I kind of feel like expecting more is also criminal to yourself, because I've been hoping and believing in this team achieving Champions League. I'm not even joking, for the past 8 years, for the past 6 years. And it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not going to happen this season. And I've kind of, I'm not giving up, because you don't give up, but I'm fed up. I'm tired. I'm tired of watching the same show every single season. I'm waiting for the crack open season, but it's not happening. A lot of people going against De Rossi. I disagree. I agree to disagree. Look, De Rossi's got mistakes on the decision making, but what has De Rossi got to do? And this is, we said the same things in Mourinho's first year, in Mourinho's second year, even at the start of Mourinho's third year. Then at the end of Mourinho's time, we started saying these things as well. What can a manager do if the players play like this? Of course, the manager is there to set the players up. But what can the manager do if the players lose balling continuously, lose balls every single time, don't run back? As much as you can say that the tactics are bad, passing a ball to an opponent isn't a tactic. A tactic is something when you move without the ball. Passing the ball to an opponent isn't a tactic. Passing the ball to an opponent for a professional football player needs to be an automatism. So what can a manager do when all the Mancini did today was launch the ball long? What can a manager do today if Zalewski came in and didn't put one cross in? What can De Rossi do if Angelino today, atrocious Angelino, we didn't speak about Angelino, terrible today, didn't put one cross. I feel like as always we've made this mistake so many times, and we made this mistake with Mourinho as well. I just feel like sometimes it's too automatic for us fans to blame the manager. The manager has got a lot of responsibilities in this defeat. In the decisions, in the formation, absolutely. But I also feel like us fans tend to point the finger too quickly to the manager because it's a single person. When you've got shit in this team that has been playing, surviving, and starting games every single season for the past 5 years. So I also feel like it's time for us to criticize the manager but point the finger to the players, because look, this is the way I see it, by the way. Anybody can think whatever they want. How is that not a penalty on Elder? They didn't show it properly. I have to see it again. But Mourinho proved himself, not in the league, definitely not. In Europe he did, but Europa League still has to start for us this season, so it's very hard to, give a comment on European tournaments when they still need to start. Mourinho definitely did not prove himself in the league because he got 7th, 6th, because then he got sacked. So, I don't understand that comment. I mean, I do, because he won us the Conference League, brought us to Europa League final. But that's Europe. De Rossi got a Europa League semi-final last year as well. So this team in Europe, I think, is readier. In the league, it's been terrible for the past 6 years. So I think it's unfair to say that Mourinho proved himself in the league, because he clearly didn't. Right, I'm gonna end it here, lads. Prediction for Juventus away, 1-0. That game always ends 1-0 to Juventus. We're gonna lose that game, of course. We never win in that ground. We're never gonna win. Lucky if we get a draw, but I think we're gonna lose. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow to go visit Cape Town. Be patient. Let's be patient, I'd say, because I need to be patient as well. We need more signings. And then another thing, again, I'm not trying. Yes, I am trying to defend De Rossi here, but another thing which he needs to be defended for is the transfer delays. For the love of God, will you get that right back sorted out? Will you get that left winger sorted out? Will you get that box-to-box midfielder sorted out? For the love of God, it's been 3 months that this manager has asked for signings. So, that's the other thing. We need signings done. People say Danso's done. Really good signing. But we need to get it done. We've got 6 days to go until the transfer window ends. Get the fucking move on. Move on. Every day I read, that player's close. Roma offered that money. That club is about to accept. I don't care. We have to get the players in. I'm not interested in transfer news anymore. The season has started and we're delayed in every single aspect. Would you move your fuck off? Not off, on, rather. Off and on. Time to get this shit done. Yes. Right, I'm gonna catch you when back in Rome, until, or maybe, unless we sign a player tomorrow. I'll be back in Rome next week, so to prepare for the Juventus game. A very bad start. Very, very bad start. Is it what we expected? No, definitely not. It's the same as last year, and I think these two results are already restricting our objectives in the season. Right, I'm going to catch you soon. Don't forget to hit the like. It's very easy to hit the like when we win games. It's very easy to hit the like when we reach finals and semi-finals. But the true fans are also true fans when they hit the like and part of the community when we lose games. So if you agree with the comments I made, or if you've got your own opinions, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like, and have a good evening. Talk to you soon. Season out. Yes, season out. And also Simo out. But also season out. Fuck off. I'm tired, man.